I didn't want to sit next to the school bully, but his mom begged me not to switch seats and held up 5 fingers at me. So whenever the bully acted out, I'd give him a slap. If he dared throw a tantrum, he'd get the full dragon-subduing palm. I smacked that bully all the way into a top-tier 211 university. His mom transferred me 500,000 yuan. I stared at my phone, baffled. Wait, wasn't holding up 5 fingers her way of saying I should hit him? I started sitting next to Larry Kelly in junior year. Larry didn't wear the school uniform, dyed his hair silver, wore earrings, and always smelled like cigarettes. He was handsome, and he knew it, a real-life high school bad boy, straight out of a comic. And honestly, a total turn-off. Stroking his sharp jawline, he leaned in greasy smooth and asked, "Want a Bingray? Some girl gave it to me. I'm not into strawberry." I turned him down immediately. No thanks. I was terrified I'd poke the straw in and end up drinking pure grease. I spaced out over a math problem, and Larry thought I was eyeing his backpack. He flicked the oversized logo with his long, slender fingers. Hermes. You spotted it, huh? Me. Trust him to make luxury brands look tacky. After gym class, he'd return to his seat and purposely lift his t-shirt to fan his 8-pack using my English textbook. I couldn't take it anymore. I ran to the homeroom teacher. She teared up. "Ever since Larry sat next to you, I haven't lost a single performance bonus." I didn't care. I'm here to study, not babysit. "Then tell his mom yourself." The teacher brought in Larry's mom. "It's not like I haven't tried disciplining him. Boys get harder to manage when they grow up. That's why I'm entrusting him to you." Still looking glamorous, Mrs. Kelly took my hand. "Emily, please, take him in." She leaned in and whispered, "Whatever it takes, as long as you keep him in line." I looked down and saw her subtly holding out 5 fingers. Seriously? I can hit him? I knew the bully came from a powerful family, so I'd been holding back. But now, with a free pass, why waste it? "Just so we're clear, I hit hard. You sure you won't feel bad?" Mrs. Kelly beamed. "Emily, do whatever you think is best." So when Larry tried hitting me with his cringy bubble voice again, "Emil, why? Kelly will walk you home after class, okay?" I raised my hand without hesitation and slapped those croaky tones right back down his throat. The whole class went dead silent. His little crew nearly pulled out weapons. But why should I care? I was authorized. On a mission. I slapped him and barked, "Get that tractor engine out of your throat before you talk to me again." Larry held his burning cheek, eyes red at the corners, and stared at me for a long time. Poor thing. Probably slapped senseless. I might look delicate, but I can haul gas tanks up 6 flights in one breath. When he finally spoke again, his voice was clear and boyish. "Sorry, Emily. Is it okay if I talk like this now? 1 slap, 1 candy. Walk me home after school." "Sure, Emily." Under the desk, his long legs were practically twisting with joy. His whole gang and the entire class were dumbfounded. Who let the dog whisperer into school? Larry never came to morning study. He texted me, "Emily, do you prefer Alaskan king crab and Boston lobster, or afternoon tea at the Black Swan?" I replied, "The Jennings stand outside school. That vendor sets up at 5:30 am and moves by 7:30. Larry missed out the first day. When he came to first period empty-handed, I slapped him. "You didn't know I have low blood sugar." Scared stiff, he kicked the habit of sleeping in. By the next morning, Larry was already at his desk at 6:30, waiting for me. When I arrived, he unzipped his bag and handed me a warm jianbing, still carrying his body heat. I forced myself to eat it despite feeling queasy. As he yawned, I said, "If you're tired, forget it." Mid-yawn, he swallowed it back. "Not tired. I'll get you breakfast every day from now on." From that day on, the school bully never skipped morning study again. Larry always stood out. On days when the whole school wore uniforms, he'd show up in some flashy designer outfit. He didn't care his family had donated an entire building to the school. Larry swaggered up to me. "Emily, Custom made by the master himself. Look good? I slapped him. My eyes are bleeding. He started questioning his taste, cycling through designer outfits until he gave up and put on a school uniform. I casually commented, "Not bad." After that, he never took it off, even when it was faded from too many washes. One time I got sick and was coughing badly. Larry went out to smoke between classes, came back reeking of cigarettes, and made me cough even more. Next break, I followed him to the rooftop and slapped the cigarette right out of his mouth. His crew was stunned. "Who does she think she is, the class rep? You dare hit our boss?" Me? I was fearless, his mum told me to hit him. Larry lost face in front of all his guys, but didn't get mad. He laughed and tossed the rest of his cigarettes from his pocket. As I headed downstairs alone, I vaguely heard him brag, "Strict discipline is for my own good. You guys wouldn't get it, you've got no one to keep you in check." Larry begged me to tutor him. I didn't expect to have to start from the very basics. He didn't even know middle school material. "How'd you even get into high school?" Larry admitted. "Bought my way in. Rarely interested in schoolwork. I made him a custom study guide. He didn't do a single problem. Instead, he bragged to his gang, 'No way I'm actually studying. Just pretending to make our girl happy.' Furious, I ran over and slapped the daylights out of him. His cheeks turned bright red, and he didn't dare make a peep. His little crew was about to beg for mercy. "Sis, please go easy. Don't slap our bro into a cold." I said nothing and just kept slapping the bully all day long. I ignored Larry completely. He got scared, stayed up late, did all the problems, and got every single one wrong. Afraid of dragging me down, he hired a private tutor and finally jumped up a dozen spots in class rank. Only then did I start to really look at him. When he heard my goal was a local 211 university, Larry was curious. "You've got the brains. Why not aim for a top school out of town?" "None of your business." I wasn't about to tell him I needed to stay and take care of my bedridden mom, paralyzed from a stroke. But Larry got the wrong idea. "Wait, is my girl staying here for me?" He got all fired up on his own. "I'll work hard and get into the same college as my wife." I was speechless. Idiot. And the worst part? He actually did it and ended up in the same department as me. Meanwhile, I was holding on to 500,000 yuan, debating whether to clear up the misunderstanding. After the college entrance exam, my dad ran off with another woman. He said he'd done his duty by taking care of Mum till I got into college. He said he was still young and didn't want to waste his life on a paralyzed wife. When they divorced, we didn't even ask for the house. Consider it child support. My mum mumbled through her tears, lying in bed. "Sell. Sell." I answered firmly. "No." I knew she wanted me to sell it, it'd make life easier. But it was a gift from my grandparents. If we sold it, we'd truly have nowhere to go. Everyone from class went to Larry's college, send-off banquet too. 0 yuan per head. No gifts required. I just brought a lunchbox, packed it with all the delicious food to bring back for Mom. Larry's dad rewarded him with a Ferrari. He looked annoyed and asked why it wasn't the Bugatti they agreed on. Surrounded by proud family and friends at the banquet, this golden boy looked impatient. "Are you done bragging yet? I need to go be with my wife." The second Mrs. Kelly looked my way, I snapped back to reality. "Get lost! Who are you calling your wife?" Larry got upset. "Emily, are you like Naoki Eri or something? How long are you planning to keep up this Ice Queen act?" After the banquet, I carefully packed the lunchbox into the back of my e-bike. Just as I was about to ride off, the bike dipped. Someone had hopped on behind me. Larry clung to me like a damn koala. Wifey, take me home, please." It was the first time we'd been this physically close. I turned red in panic. "Get off." "No." He was drunk and strong, rocking the bike so hard I thought it'd tip. One more shake and the food would spill. I snapped. "Larry, the only reason I treated you that way was because your mum paid me. The whole point was to get you into college. This thing between us is over. Stop calling me your wife." "I never liked you." Larry froze. "You're joking." Right, wifey? I gritted my teeth and shoved him off. My cousin got me a cushy job installing KTV systems. After work, my cousin took me out for street food. Just as I lifted my chopsticks, a fleet of supercars roared past, kicking dust into our bowls. Class rep, dining with a male model, huh? Larry and his rich kid crew stepped out of their rides. His face was cold, his eyes full of unfamiliar aggression. He wasn't my big dumb puppy anymore. My cousin was too busy staring at the cars to see Larry sneak up and pour a whole beer over his head. You little mutt. Like drinking. Then drink all you want. Then he smashed the bottle right by my feet. You'd rather eat roadside with this broke loser than be with a rich young master like me. Emily, what kind of taste do you have? He looked so furious, it was honestly scary. My cousin was stunned. Cousin, you're dating this thug? Larry was stunned too. Cousin? I stepped over the broken glass, walked up to Larry, and smacked him with a familiar slap. I told you we're done. Who I'm with is none of your damn business. Larry's face whipped to the side. He slapped me back. Do you even have the right to be jealous? Then I landed 2 more slaps. Having possessiveness without any status is just pathetic. You know that? His rich kid posse was in shock. Damn, she's brutal. That slap left a motion blur on Kelly's face. You don't get it, Larry's into that. Between the class rep and the school bully, she's the real boss. Larry knew he'd messed up and stayed quiet. My voice shook. My cousin was bullied by thugs as a kid. It took him years to get over it. Larry panicked. I'm sorry. Don't follow me. I snapped, then dragged my cousin away. Once we were alone, he grinned and asked, Sis, when was I ever bullied? I transferred him 50 cents as hush money. Zip it. I'd taken their money, and it no longer felt right slapping Larry. So I returned the money to Mrs. Kelly. She called me immediately. Emily, what's the meaning of this? We had a deal. I took a deep breath and said, Sorry, I thought your 5 fingers meant I should hit him. Mrs. Kelly nearly choked from laughing. No wonder my son's face has been swollen like a honey pup these past 2 years. You're not mad? Mad? I should be thanking you. I asked you to keep him in line, and look how great he turned out. Emily, if you ask me, 50 grand wasn't nearly enough. We were about to donate 2 buildings just to buy his way into college. But thanks to you, look how much you saved us. I appreciate your kindness, but I'm not taking your money. Then, can we ask you to keep disciplining Larry in the future? Me. A middle-aged man's voice came through the phone. Hello? I'm Larry's father. My wife and I formally authorize you to continue slapping him. Me? What am I? Some kind of sucker. I raised your kid for 2 whole years. Graduated. And you still won't let me go? Life's hard enough without being part of your weird role play. I went back to work installing KTV systems. Halfway through, my cousin rushed in, panicked. Take this bottle of Ace of Spades to room 888 for me. Then he clutched his butt and bolted what? 8 Wallace again? Holding the bottle, I pushed open the massive VIP suite. Sis, in-law. Shit, Kelly's girl is here to bust him. The room burst into chaos. I was speechless. Larry sat on the sofa in a wide-open tailored suit. No shirt underneath, abs on full display, slicked back hair, silver chest chain, so flamboyant. I felt actual shame for being attracted to a familiar face. Ignoring his fierce glare, I walked over and placed the bottle in front of him. Sir, here's your Ace of Spades. Larry's voice was low. You work here now? I sneered. And you don't party here? This time it wasn't just his crew, even his childhood friends turned off the music. Damn. Sis-in-law came in hard. You drink in KTV, she works in KTV. Power move. Queen of husband taming. The class rep doesn't mess around. Kelly's gonna be whipped for life after this one. I didn't know what to say. You nosy bastards really had imaginations. Larry shot me a cold look. Pour the drink. I stood to leave. Sorry, that's not part of the service. 1 glass. 10 grand. Larry grabbed my wrist and yanked me in front of him. He whispered in my ear, Aren't you desperate for money? I suddenly felt he was a total idiot. Guess Mrs. Kelly hadn't told him I returned the money. Everyone in the room gasped. Mutiny! Kelly! You trying to die young? You dumbass romantic. Get on your knees and apologize to sis-in-law right now. I didn't know how to respond. Apparently Larry hadn't told anyone about the money either. I opened the bottle and poured a drink for each of them. That'll be 100 grand. I pulled out my phone and handed him the payment code. Larry said coldly, No need, I'll transfer it. Then realized I'd blocked him. Larry was speechless. The entire VIP room fell into a dead silence. Clack. The kid in the corner, sucking on a lollipop, was so scared he dropped it on the floor. With a dark face, Larry transferred me 100,000. Just when I thought the farce was over, he picked up a lollipop and taunted, Feed me one, 10 grand. I snatched it without hesitation, tore open the wrapper. Then he added, Mouth to mouth. Hiss! Everyone around gasped. Someone even slipped out under the suffocating pressure. A few fearless childhood friends snuck peeks at us, half curious, half terrified. My heart steeled. I bit the stick of the lollipop between my teeth, leaned down, grabbed Larry by the neck, and looked into his eyes as I slowly pushed the purple candy into his mouth. We had never been this close. It was the first time. His tipsy breath brushed my face. His amber eyes made my heart skip a beat. Oh, this is insane! Help! PDA attack. Blushing, I pulled away. Larry just sat there, dumbfounded, lollipop still in his mouth, looking completely out of it. I said, Don't just sit there. Pay up. Larry froze, then slowly fumbled out his phone. His long fingers were trembling. Pathetic. Hands behind my back, I had to press mine together to stop the shaking too. Word spread fast about how I turned a KTV into a dog training arena. It reached Larry's childhood sweetheart who had just returned from abroad. The next day, she showed up in sparkly Jimmy Choo heels. With the KTV lasers flashing, I honestly needed a welding mask. She stood with hands on hips, eyeing me working the job site with disdain, playing the tragic, cold, poor girl act. Lame tactics. I stared, baffled. I really wanted to shove my memory card into her head, see if it had even 1 KB of content. She said she wanted to talk. I told her to wait till I was done. After 3 hours, she had an epiphany. Your act's so convincing. With that dedication, you could succeed at anything. Conclusion: 0 KB content. Then she asked, How did you train Kelly so well? I told her the truth. If he acts up, slap him. She secretly jotted it down in a notebook. Next day, she came back with a swollen face. Larry said he wouldn't put up with my crap, so I slapped him. He slapped me back twice. I scolded her. You have to slap hard. 1 move to take him down. You useless thing. I basically spoon-fed you. She panicked. How hard is hard? Sis, slap me so I can feel it. I smacked her. She went blank. Sis, I think I just saw my great-grandma. I gave her another pep talk. Remember that strength. Go. Later, the girl dropped out. She said, no matter how good Larry was, she didn't want him. All the slapping back and forth was messing up her facial implants. Once the KTV job wrapped, I'd earned just enough for tuition. Picked up a programming contract to cover living expenses. The 200 grand Larry gave me sat in my wallet for 5 days. 1 Snow King drink a day. I unblocked him, refunded the money, and blocked him again. The next day, the money bounced back. I called to return it in person. He gave me an address, and I went. I opened the hotel room door. The stench of alcohol nearly knocked me out. Larry's eyes were tinted red, amber irises glazed with booze. He was shirtless, all toned muscle, with just a towel loosely wrapped around his slim, pale waist. I was about to step back when he grabbed my wrist, dragged me inside, and threw me onto the bed. He climbed on top, pinning my hands above my head with brute force. Under his absolute strength, I realized there was no moving him. He pressed his nose to mine, wearing a wicked, feral grin. "Emily, who do you think you are? How dare you treat me like this? You think you're some kind of goddess?" Then bam! He dropped to his knees on the bed, nodding furiously. "Ooh, yes, yes, yes. My wife is a total goddess." I stared at him, speechless. Great. He was drunk. I still had a chance. Larry's eyes turned misty as he tearfully accused me of using him for money, of playing with him despite not liking him. But since he was this wasted, he wouldn't remember anything. So I told the truth. "Larry, I'm just not into you." His gaze turned hazy, puppy-like. He clung to my neck, rubbing against me. "Then, wifey, what would make you like me?" His cheeks were flushed, face irresistibly kissable. So I kissed him. Do something worth liking. Drunk Larry was clingy like an octopus. He held me tight, wouldn't let go. I stayed wide-eyed, waiting for him to fall asleep. But while waiting, I passed out too. Near dawn, I was woken by a call. It was Auntie Wang, who often helped care for Mom. "Emily, where are you? Your mom fell, I can't lift her alone." Larry woke too, startled by me in bed. Blushing, he dressed and drove me home. "You're drunk, you shouldn't drive. Just one Rio cooler." "Then why were you that drunk?" Under my withering stare, his voice faded. I was faking it. I sighed. The alley to my building was so broken, Larry's Ferrari scraped the bottom. The old building was short, and 6'3" Larry hit his head twice on the way up. Seeing my mom was like being slammed into reality. Paralyzed, incontinent, urine everywhere. Auntie Wang said, "No idea when she fell. I only heard her calling when I got up. Thank goodness, nothing broke." I was overwhelmed with guilt, on the verge of tears. I crouched to help lift her with Auntie Wang. "Let me." Larry suddenly reached out and carried my mum, steady and strong, placing her gently on the bed. His expensive clothes got dirty. I said softly, "Can you step out for a bit while I change her clothes?" "Okay." In the 2 years I'd known Larry, I'd never seen that serious look on his face. The next day, he showed up with a suitcase. I had a fight with my family. I blocked the door. "Why?" "We argued. I told them my mum tainted our pure classmate relationship by involving money. That was wrong. Damn right. Ruined my slapping spree. You returned the money and she hid it from me, stirring up trouble unforgivable." "Preach!" "And I get blamed for being a stoic tsundere. I told my parents about your situation. They're against us being together and they said some really nasty things. I'd been quiet the whole time, but now I was fully hooked." "Like what?" "Don't use your parents' money for charity. If you've got guts, walk away with nothing, see if she still wants you. Wifey, I'll earn money and take care of you and Mom from now on." I glanced at him. "Where's your car? Your house? Your money?" "That's none of the above," he mumbled. Poor little rich boy. I shut the door fast. "Well, I don't want to be a charity case either. Poverty ruins everything in a marriage." Larry panicked. "But we can still drink Coke together." In the end, I let him in. My mum scolded me. "Your room. Let him stay there." Larry was all smiles. "Thanks, Mom." When he was gone, I asked Mom why. She looked down on him. "He won't last long. Didn't even take a full day." Next morning, Larry asked me to lend him money. "Still got that 200K? I need to borrow it." Mom was spot on. That night at 8 p.m., Larry had Auntie Wang watch Mom and dragged me out mysteriously to a rainbow cloud fireworks show. I couldn't help but sigh. When I watched A Chinese Odyssey as a kid, I always imagined someone riding a rainbow cloud to rescue me from this crappy life. Larry grinned. "Well, you finally got your wish. Your hero has arrived, wifey." "Shut up, monkey. Don't make me slap you at such a romantic moment." I looked up and saw the cloud. When it got closer, I realized standing on that cloud was me. I'd rescued myself countless times. Larry held my hand. "Wife, can I kiss you?" Then lowered his head and kissed the back of my hand. "It's been 2 years. Just because you said you didn't want to date in high school, I've been holding back until now." Beneath the magnificent, explosive fireworks, I lost myself for a moment. I hooked my arm around his neck, rose on tiptoe, and kissed him. When the fireworks ended, people around us gasped in awe. Nobody knew how much they cost at 680 yuan per shot. There were hundreds. 200 grand, Larry said. I asked how he knew. He said he paid for them. You only get one chance in a lifetime to confess to your girl like this. I was so mad I jumped up and slapped him for the first time. I couldn't stop. Until neighbors flung open their windows and screamed, "Who the hell is blasting fireworks in the middle of the damn night?" I finally stopped and kicked that money waster out to earn his keep. He was up at dawn, back late at night, drenched in sweat. After work, he'd buy groceries, wash dishes, take Mom out for walks. He started learning to cook, clean the house, even scrubbed his undies in the bathroom at midnight, whining the whole time. I wanted to laugh, but didn't want to jinx it. I went to comfort him, only to see him curled in my little strawberry blanket, wiggling like a silkworm. "It smells just like you in here. You smell so good, wife." I hated how fast I caught on. I smacked him. "Don't do nasty things in my bed." His face went red. "Sorry, I already." "What? Why do you think I keep washing my underwear in the middle of the night?" Furious, I swung at him, but we rolled onto the bed. At least now he didn't have to do nasty things to the bed. I took the hit for it. He was too loud, so I kept covering his mouth. "The walls are thin here." Damn. Felt like we were sneaking around too thrilling. Halfway through summer, I'd earned enough for living expenses. Larry had slimmed down, his features sharper, his vibe more mature. During the day, he wore a suit and hustled like an adult. At night, he'd come home, slip into pajamas, and burrow into my arms like a giant dog. Wife, making money is hard. Running around in the heat, begging every contact I know. Had to drink, eat, smile, just for a few bucks. Then go back to being a rich kid. But I've never felt this grounded in my life. Larry said, "I hated the flashy life I used to live. Always enjoying things I didn't deserve. No wonder I felt empty. But when I met you, you had something. A calm that gave me real peace." I said, "Do I look that poor?" Larry transferred money to me. "Wife, I don't earn much now, but one day I'll give you and Mom a good life. Trust me, I'm a responsible man." Ah, yes, the classic male mantra. Someday, somehow, wait for it. The money arrived. I braced myself. "If you made over 3K this month, I'll praise you, tell you you're amazing, spoil you, feed you, love you, cuddle you. But if you didn't even make 3K, just watch me slap you." I opened the transaction. 16.8. 3 million. On the weekend, Larry said he was taking Mom and me out for dinner. We arrived at a banquet hall, full of familiar guests. Turns out it was my college send-off party. Larry beamed. "Every kid deserves one. So does our Emily." My parents never threw me one. My boyfriend did. I served my mom food, introduced classmates. Larry handed out cigarettes to our teachers and the principal. "Next time, we'll be drinking at our wedding. Save up, teach well, bring us a big red envelope." My reflexes kicked in. I slapped him. "Don't talk nonsense." Mum scolded me later. Larry installed a security cam at home so he could monitor the caregiver while I was at school. He even bought a wheelchair, accessible car, so Mom could roll right in. On weekends, our little family of 3 went on countryside drives. When school started, I gave a speech as the freshman representative. Life is long, and the twists always lead to new paths. If the aftertaste is bitter, trust that all things are repaid in kind. No matter what, grow wildly toward the sun. March like ants, dream like eagles. Walking down from the stage, I thought gratefully, new environment, new me. I'd leave behind my teenage drama and become a calm, responsible college student, no more random slapping. First big lecture. I walked into class and heard, "Good morning, sister-in-law." After class, I cornered the school bully in an alley and slapped him into another dimension. His phone rang. I glanced at it. "Didn't you cut ties with your parents?" "Huh?" Answer it. As the video call connected, I stood just out of frame. Larry stiffly said, "What's up?" His mom held up a diamond as big as a pigeon egg. "Got this at auction for my daughter-in-law. Perfect as an engagement ring." Larry started trembling. Engagement! "Didn't you say you were proposing to Emily? You kept rushing me to find a big diamond ring for you. Isn't your sob story act over by now? I don't want to be the villain in my daughter-in-law's eyes forever. Stop making things up!" But it was already too late. My slaps came down on his face like a storm. Mrs. Kelly whispered nervously through the video, "Emily, this was all his idea." Then Mr. Kelly's face popped into the frame. Now that you've slapped him, can we be off the hook?" I was speechless. Over the weekend, I went to Larry's house to talk to his parents. Before I could say anything, his dad panicked and sold him out first. "It was all him and his mom conspiring to trap you. I had nothing to do with it, my dear daughter-in-law." Mrs. Kelly was shocked. So much for husband and wife, birds of the same forest flying apart at the first sign of trouble. Larry slid to his knees, clutching my hand in panic. "Wife, going broke was all my idea. Mom was forced. Blame me. Please don't dock my parents' points," I said. "And that 16 million was that from the family too." Larry's dad scoffed. "Only someone like him would care about such pocket change. With all the connections and resources he's got, earning that little is laughable in our circle. Any random project I touch makes far more than that." Mrs. Kelly added, "It took a whole month to make just over 10 million? That's hardly something to be proud of." Larry's once proud expression dimmed completely. I finally understood why he used to act out and become a school bully. When the boss sets the bar too high, employees quit. I took Larry home, bought a giant durian, and made him kneel. He couldn't put any weight on his knees, his core clenched so hard his abs popped right out. Wife, I can't take it anymore. Please have mercy." Then start confessing. What else don't I know? I hid 10,000 this month as my secret stash. Hand it over. What else? Larry was almost collapsing from the pain, sweat dripping from his chest to the floor. "Actually, my mom told me a long time ago you returned the money." I slapped him twice. "Then why keep humiliating me on purpose?" He bit his lip, muscles shaking. "Because treating you that way is kind of a turn-on." My rage hit maximum. I grabbed his belt, looped it around his neck, and dragged him into my room. "A turn-on, huh?" With each pull, a slap. "Tonight, you're gonna get your fill. New, wifey." By morning, I was sprawled on his chest. Gotta admit, it was kind of a turn-on. Larry had a tie over his mouth the whole time to stop him from making indecent noises. Thank you for being my crutch when I was at my lowest, helping me through the hardest times. But I prefer being whole. Standing on my own 2 feet feels more empowering. I said this, then peacefully closed my eyes. Still, I love this warm life you've filled with overwhelming love. Thank you, hubby. Turns out, calling someone hubby has a price. A steep one. By junior year, I'd become student council president. When patrolling campus to crack down on rule breakers, I always had to call out that troublemaker. "Larry, put your shirt on." I pushed up my glasses, ignoring the chorus of fangirl wails outside the court. "Running around shirtless in front of all these girls. What do you think you're doing?" Then I coldly deducted points. "Report to the student council office." That school bully looked smug, pulling on his soaking wet white tank top, which, frankly, didn't change a thing. Yes, Madam President. But after a few words of reprimand in the office, we ended up doing some highly inappropriate things. Panting, I slapped him. Larry, you planned this, didn't you? He grinned wickedly and kissed my palm. Can you blame me, wifey? You're into it.